Single-player games have the ability to capture our imagination in ways that multiplayer games frequently can't, whether it be through epic stories you'll want to play through repeatedly or vast open worlds that beg to be explored. After all, we all want to be the hero of our own stories from time to time. Due to this, we've compiled a list of the top single-player games currently available. Our list includes both large and small single-player experiences with fresh narratives and beautiful environments to get lost in. We attempted to include games that have been released on multiple platforms. Do you want to be kept up to date on the latest gaming industry news and releases? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and click on the bell button for the most up-to-date information on all things gaming. 15. God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok has quickly become one of the year's most anticipated games. God of War's initial release in 2018 was outstanding, with the game heavily relying on the cinematic by portraying the entire game as if it were taking place in a single shot and relying on the sad dad movie cliché. For players of all ages, video games can be a ton of fun, but they aren't always simple to play. To ensure that players of all abilities can enjoy God of War Ragnarok, Santa Monica Studios recently added over 60 accessibility options to the PC version of the game. 14. Horizon Forbidden West. Think of Mass Effect 2, Assassin's Creed 2, and Uncharted 2 as examples of successful sequels that grow on their predecessors in various ways. By inventing intriguing new gameplay elements, creating compelling character arcs, and varying mission designs to provide variety, they all improve what came before them. To put it another way, they use a strong base and new elements to form more sophisticated bonds, much like an alloy, or in this case, an alloy. This is skillfully accomplished by Horizon Forbidden West, which builds on the already outstanding foundations of 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn to tell a gripping story full of recognizable explosive combat against elaborate robotic foes and blockbuster action sequences. Horizon Forbidden West is a ton of fun and a fantastic demonstration of the power of the PS5. It boasts an alluring open world, top-notch creature, character design, and riveting combat. 13. Mass Effect. Simply put, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is amazing for what it is, a launcher that includes the entire trilogy and almost all of the downloadable content. That alone should be enough to pique the interest of anyone who enjoys game storytelling, tough choices, big space epics, or just some good RPG shooter hybrid fun. If you haven't played or heard of these games, Mass Effect tells the tale of Commander Shepard, a human soldier who accidentally activates a beacon left behind by the Protheans, an extinct alien race, and finds himself caught up in a galactic conflict. You encounter and make friends with aliens of many different species, each with their own histories and cultures, as you set out on your quest to find a rogue special agent. You also battle the synthetic battle platforms known as the Geth and dozens of mercenary armories. Finally, you assemble a team, get to know one another, and perhaps even fall in love. The greater threat is eventually revealed to be a fleet of life forms known as the Reapers, which will eventually invade the galaxy. 12. Alan Wake 2. Alan Wake debuted 10 years ago and delivered the most cliffhanger ending you can imagine, and now a decade later, Alan Wake 2 has emerged from the shadows. Alan Wake 2 appears to be Remedy's first survival horror game, which is both exciting and terrifying, given that the first game was not considered one. This story will consume you. Monsters have many faces, and this story is full of them. 11. A Plague Tale Requiem. The game's compelling blend of riddle and stealth gameplay, emotional storytelling, and yes, truckloads of rats are all still present. The sequel appears to be making progress in all of the aforementioned areas, and that's what will impress you. Between all the blood, rats, and tears, it seems like there will be a lot of fun to be had thanks to combat systems that are much more intricate and a cleverer approach to stealth. 10. Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert, which is powered by Pearl Abyss's in-house next-generation engine, offers incredibly realistic graphics and gameplay elements. Crimson Desert is a survival story that follows a group of struggling mercenaries and the many characters who cross their paths in Pywell's vast continent. This is a world where heroes are created, but only after incredible hardship, pain, and perseverance. 9. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Insomniac is currently working on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 for the PS5, with a release date of 2023. Fortunately, Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4 succeeds in almost all of its swings across Manhattan's rooftops. Simply put, it feels amazing to swing around. There is a slight learning curve, but once you are confident with the fundamentals, it becomes almost automatic to make Spider-Man look graceful in every swing, leap, and lunge. Finding the ideal balance of jumping, crawling, web-zipping, and wall-running feels amazing. 8. Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is an open-world online co-op superhero action game. People are also curious about the size of the map, as they have with all recent open-world games, ignoring the fact that this information is useless and that any map, no matter how large or small, can be effective if its contents are compelling. WB, the developers in Montreal, recently discussed the size of their Gotham City. It seems to be the largest representation of the well-known Batman location ever seen in a game. 7. Contraband. Contraband is an action-packed heist game in which teams of up to 4 players plan and carry out smuggling runs across a fictional island off the coast of South Asia. Contraband is described internally as an action-packed, fun, and spectacular smuggler's sandbox game that combines familiar elements from Sea of Thieves with some Avalanche sandbox explosiveness. Gadgets, guns, and vehicles, both on and off the ground, are all essential for a successful smuggling run, and players will be able to form teams with other players in online social hubs. 6. Exakiller. It appears that cyberpunk games are experiencing a revival. The most recent, Exakiller, combines Western sensibilities with cyberpunk technology from the 1980s. Exakiller is an action-adventure set in 1998 New York, except that this New York has been overrun by deserts. Exakiller is the debut title from the Polish two-person team Paradark Studio, and the creator promises some RPG elements like customizable skills and gadgets, as well as a world that offers a variety of approaches to and solutions to problems. 5. The Elder Scrolls 6. With The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is more than 10 years old, everyone is eagerly awaiting the release of The Elder Scrolls 6. That makes us feel incredibly old, but it also implies that work on The Elder Scrolls 6 is probably well underway. Starfield is scheduled for release in the first half of 2023, which suggests that it will still be a while before then. The Elder Scrolls 6 may not be released for at least another 3 to 4 years, as Bethesda only recently started pre-production on Starfield. 4. Saints Row. With a new cast of heroes, Saints Row will undoubtedly reboot the series. We're going to a new location in Santa Ileso's open-world sandbox, though it does share some of the same DNA. Naturally, as you work to establish a criminal empire, you can still count on seeing plenty of chaos and action. Later this year, the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC will receive this new installment from developer Volition. 3. Forspoken. One of the most eagerly anticipated video games of the year, Forspoken is a PS5 and PC exclusive. Square Enix is the publisher, and their internal Luminous production studio is responsible for the game's development. We know this studio is very capable of providing us with a rich and beautiful RPG because they created Final Fantasy XV. Frey Holland, who is portrayed by Ella Balinska, is the main character in this recent story-specific trailer from late 2021. The young woman has been transported from what appears to be a contemporary New York City to the fantastical realm of Athia. In order to learn more about Athia as we follow her on her journey, we will be experiencing the visual delights of these novel environments and creatures with her. 2. Sniper Elite 5. The premise of Sniper Elite 5 is simple. A man with a gun must kill a swarm of Nazis. Players are given a variety of tools to bring about this unavoidable fate, the most important of which is the titular sniper rifle. The formula for the game is straightforward and easy to understand, which works to its advantage. Sniper Elite 5 stays true to what fans already know and love in contrast to other, more complex shooters that frequently add new ways to fire a weapon. Sniper Elite 5's story serves only to provide context between missions. It is up to the players to care about the story's details. One only needs to understand the protagonist's story in order to complete the game. The larger picture is difficult to follow unless the player is an expert on World War II. 1. Marvel's Wolverine. The developer of the critically acclaimed Marvel's Spider-Man and Spider-Man Miles Morales video games, Insomniac Games, has announced that Marvel's Wolverine will be their upcoming superhero video game. Insomniac is currently working on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 for the PlayStation 5 with a release date of 2023. Once that's done, the studio will start preparing for the release of Marvel's Wolverine and hopefully show us some more of it in action. Let the anticipation for another look at the game in action begin as a brawler pulls a knife, Logan pops his claws, and the screen goes black. That concludes our list. There are undoubtedly dozens of fantastic games that we were unable to include, but that's what happens when you only have 15 spots. Of course, your choices may vary, so let us know in the comments what your favorite PC games of the last 10 years are. Before you head out, make sure to check out our lists of 15 massive open-world games. See you at the next one!